welcome to episode 5 of Thought Sprinkles. This is the second attempt.
Yeah, because our first one, the recording on my side went epically wrong, and you can't hear anything that I'm saying. But this time, it looks a little better. I can see the actual waveforms. We've switched up our setup a little bit.
Yeah, we used to record on GarageBand on my laptop, and that was very troublesome because laptops can't handle very much.
Well, also, your laptop is like 1 billion years old.
Yeah, I got it in 2014, I think. It's 2019 now. So,
but it's older than that too. I think it came out in like 2008.
Yeah, it's an old model. It's not very good. But we're recording on our big boy computer. And we're recording in Audacity, and everything's going to be done on this big boy computer, which is going to be super powerful.
It means we're going to get stuff out faster. It's going to be smoother. We're going to be able to do more.
Yeah. And we're putting it together in Premiere instead of Final Cut. So, that's a bonus.
Yeah, basically we're professionals now.
Yeah.
So, look forward to some exciting content coming out of our face holes.
Yes. So, how are we going to start off this episode with the same questions that we did last time about...
I can't even remember what we were talking about.
In the original recording, we talked about conspiracy theories on the Area 51 raid,
which has long since passed.
We recorded the first take before the raid, but now it is after the raid. And now, shall we talk about our thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised that even a handful of people did, in fact, show up at the gates. I really thought that no one was going to show. But a few people actually did. And apparently, I don't know if this is 100% true or not, apparently someone did actually die because of this raid.
Someone actually did die.
I don't know the legitimacy of that. But it's just, I saw a news clipping.
Okay, I can't see. Well, as far as I know, there was... I think a barbecue of some kind, some celebration that people were going to be worried was going to be like TanaCon all over again. If you ever heard of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, TanaCon there was a YouTuber named Tana something. I can't remember her name. But, in protest to VidCon, she constructed her own convention very hastily.
Of course she did.
And it was very not well put together. It was in the sweltering heat. No one had food. No one had water. There was not enough space for everyone. And a lot of people showed up, and it was not a good day. So
you're thinking something similar to that went down at Area 51?
People were worried that it was going to end up like that. But as far as I know, nothing bad happened.
No, I think...
We had one Naruto run, one arrest... And one guy actually managed to slip under the gate.
You know what? I call that a successful raid.
Yeah.
So, good job, meme lords.
Yeah.
All you
we didn't see
fools.
any of them aliens, but...
Nah.
Yeah.
Do you actually think there's aliens at Area 51?
Not at Area 51. But on the universe, I don't rule that out.
Oh, there's definitely alien life out there.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is too massive for there not to be something.
Yeah, but at Area 51, that's too much. It does beg the question, what would logically be at Area 51?
I think it's like military plans and codes and all sorts of things. I think it's information.
I think it was set up during the Cold War, so...
I'm not sure exactly when Area 51 came into being.
70-something?
In the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Cold War era. But I think it's information.
Yeah.
And that's worth protecting, especially when it comes to a nationwide security. Mm-hmm. Or it's either information or aliens.
Yeah. Or camouflage.
Camouflage. Weapons. Maybe there's weapons there.
The official explanation is that it's a training facility for soldiers.
I think it is. Well, they have the space for it to be a training facility.
Mm-hmm. Or it's a astronaut training facilities for when they put people on Mars.
No, I think they do that like at NASA in like Florida or something. Because that's where they launch from, I think, is in the Florida area. All right, let me bust out my giant list of things. Talked about that. We talked about that.
Didn't make it into the...
Oh, we could talk about this. Stop me if we talked about this on episode 4. But briefly, this is in the strain of military talk. There was a brief moment in history where PepsiCo, owner of Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, and other various carbonated beverages, they briefly became the 6th largest military power in the world.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in the first cut of this one.
Right. Okay.
I feel like.
Oh, we could talk. I
haven't listened through the whole of the 4
No,
episodes
because it
yet,
sucked. We opened it, and Seth's audio was perfect, and then mine was just like.
I like talk normally. It's like.
It was like me talking way from over here. Like you can barely hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In fact, even that little bit was better than what was originally done. Yeah, but
I haven't seen all through episode 4 either, so
because we edited episode 4.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
well, in either case, it's true. PepsiCo became this was in the past. I can't remember exactly when. But there was a moment in history where, thanks to the Russians, PepsiCo became the 6th largest military power. Apparently, there was some sort of conference that was held, and the ambassadors for Russia were there. This is an abridged version. I recommend doing a history project on this if you're, like, in high school.
With actual research.
Yes. This is just my, I think this is what I remember version. An ambassador was at this meeting and tried Pepsi for the first time. And he loved it so much that he brought it back to his country. And Russia wanted to purchase, I guess, a whole bunch of Pepsi, but because of, I don't know, maybe it was currency exchange wasn't working, or because of the political standings of the U.S. and Russia at the time.
Yeah.
Instead, they settled for a trade, and this trade involved Pepsi and their products going to Russia, and Pepsi Corporation attaining battleships and submarines, and a plethora of them at that.
Yeah.
Which they used for scrap metal and sold and such. But, needless to say, briefly did become the 6th largest military power in the world. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd known that when I was in high school, because I most definitely would have done a project on it.
Yeah. All you high schoolers out there, do projects on this stuff.
It'll get you good grades, I think. Especially because it's a little known fact, which hopefully is no longer little known. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I've got a little bit of a cold. And it was pretty miserable. It's coming down now. But a couple of days ago, I woke up and my voice was so raspy, and my nose was completely clogged. My nose is still clogged. But, I woke up and I was like, where am I? It was so horrible. Although I sounded pretty cool. So,
what did you sound like?
Like a boss. It sounded like a boss. Let's see if I can replicate it.
Because it sounded like Palpatine there.
When I first did it? It was just like really low and grumbly. Really, really low and grumbly. Grumbly. I can't do like a grumbly voice right now. I need more mucus. like almost like Optimus Prime.
Okay.
That's what I sounded like. Autobots, roll out, roll.
And you make the noise as you're blowing your nose.
That'd be super epic. Yeah. Anyway, colds suck. It's sickness season here in
We're getting
Calgary.
We're getting a bug going around my house. I haven't got it. I haven't caught it yet, but
Soon.
all a good time.
Most definitely soon.
Yeah.
I see you've done a sculpture.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
So, I'm planning to go into AU of Arts, which is the Alberta University of the Arts, in 2020, and it's part of my portfolio. The idea was to have like a sculpture that had different materials put onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see the arm.
Right. This looks like Alita, Battle Angel, a little bit, just because of the hand is robotic. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of that.
Yeah. Also, it does have. Computer fell asleep. Let me see if I can fix that.
I did that for your guys' enjoyment. I hope I feel like my mucus noises.
Yeah, it does. The thing does have an anime face and wings, which don't have feathers on them yet. Okay. Don't mind me. Let's talk about ski poles for skateboarding.
Ski poles for skateboarding. This sounds like a story.
No, this was an invention that I took about the first cut.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, tell me more about that.
So, when one is skateboarding, you have to use your feet to propel yourself.
Right.
But when you're skiing, you use poles to propel yourself. So I thought, why not use ski poles instead of your feet for skateboarding? I felt my reasoning for it was because going up hills, because when you're pushing yourself skateboarding, you like, say your right foot is on the board, you're using your left foot to push, but at the same time your right leg is moving up and down, which means that your right thigh starts to cramp after a while.
Yeah,
so
skateboarding
going
is
up
hard.
Yeah, because going up hills is really hard. Coming out of my house, there's an inclined road that goes out into the street, and that's the only way in or out of my neighborhood that is skateboard friendly. And coming home is a real pain because I gotta up
You
the
gotta
hill.
work your way up that hill, yeah.
So if you had ski poles for your skateboard, I feel like that would be the same amount of work.
Probably your arms would then be the ones that end up cramping and such.
Yeah.
I thought about a paddle system because you're sideways on a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage of skis is your feet are forward facing and shoulder width apart, which allows for the pole movement.
Mm-hmm.
But on a skateboard, you're sideways when you've got momentum. You're sideways.
Yeah.
So I feel like a canoe.
Yeah.
A paddle system.
Or a riverboat.
Yeah, something like that. Anything that has a paddle, I think a skateboard paddle would be almost more applicable. However, you have to push all of your weight.
Yeah.
And your leg is many times stronger than both of your arms combined.
Yeah.
So
unless you're Captain America, then it's
all of you is equal. You're the perfect human. But Captain America aside, pushing yourself with either poles or a paddle, I think would be ultimately more work.
I've also thought if I had functional web shooters, I would just whip a tree and then pull myself.
There we go. Yeah, a rope system.
Yeah.
Or like an Indiana Jones whip.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Flip.
Have you ever seen Indiana Jones?
I haven't.
Ooh, that's a must watch. Specifically the first one is just really good.
Raiders.
Yeah. They start to get a little weird. The first one for sure is really excellent and would recommend.
I have a little Indiana Jones based story. So back in the day, there was a Lego theme of Indiana Jones, and I had one tiny set of it. It was a recreation of the famous scene where the swordsman comes out, does his little flourishes, and then Harrison Ford is just feeling so sick that he just shoots him on the spot, unscripted. So it's a set based on that scene. And of course the Jones figure has the hat, the whip, the gun, and the satchel.
Of course.
And of course the 3 standard minifigure pieces: head, torso, legs. But I used him at an animation camp, and
oh yeah?
Yeah, so the figure ended up becoming disassembled and reassembled as I made new characters, and by the end of the week, I had misplaced every last piece of him. I didn't have the hat, the whip, the gun, the satchel, anything.
You've lost all of Jones.
All of Indy Jones is lost.
Dang. That sucks.
Yeah. I had every other minifigure. Every other piece. I think I might have misplaced a couple more pieces because we had Legos at that. A lot of people brought Legos, and we let each other borrow each other's Legos. But yeah.
I've also misplaced many a Lego piece. It's just so easy to lose Lego, especially when you take it not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Say, school, for example.
Okay. You have a story?
No, not a specific story. I just know that I've definitely lost Lego pieces, witnessed people lose Lego pieces. They're just so small.
Yeah.
And easy to lose.
But if you do misplace them, like, they're easily misplaced, but they're deadly weapons for your feet.
Yes, so don't lose them on your...
I personally have never felt the pain of stepping on a Lego. And that's coming from someone who's played with Lego his entire life, mind you. Mainly because I'm wearing socks.
But you don't have younger siblings. Or small children often roaming your house.
Yeah.
So then the hazard for just leaving troves of Lego on the floor in a dark room is that likelihood instantly goes up.
Yeah.
So stepping on a Lego is really only horrible if you're caught off guard.
Yeah.
Because then crap's like a knife.
Yeah.
Just you step on it and
shink.
Shink. Just right into your foot.
Yeah.
Or your hands.
Dude Perfect broke the record for longest Lego walk.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Or they either tied it or broke it. I don't know. Because here's the interesting thing. If you watch Dude Perfect over time, then you know that they have the absurd records where they either tie or break an existing world record. And I haven't seen a single one actually show up in the book, in the Guinness Book of World Records. And they have a guy there to actually certify it.
Well,
like he gives them the plaques and everything.
There's so many records that are continuously being broken. The ones that show up on the book are the most astounding ones. They're not going to put man steps on Lego for 5 minutes in the book because at the end of the day, that's not as eye-catching or truly pleasing as someone who has a 1 foot diameter earlobe hole, which is gross, by the way.
It is. They also did the world's longest RC car jump, but I think that was broken already.
Yeah, and there's things like that are just continuously being outdone by other people that they're not worth putting in the book, which sucks because you'd think you'd want to hear all of the records that were. Yeah, I'm sure there's a list somewhere online.
But like most numbers in pi that keeps getting added.
Right. Well, I mean, it continuously will because it's an infinite number.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I have a thing.
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
I just wrote down top 5 places for a horror movie / game to take place in. What do you think would be your top 5?
Obviously, a forest would be one.
Forest.
I think the advantage of a forest at night is because you can't see the sky. If it's in a field, you can see the sky, you can see the stars. It's not as scary, but in the forest, you can't see anything up top.
Total darkness.
Yeah.
Hospital.
Yes.
The hospital is a very common one, but I think it's really good because there's something creepy about a hospital just as is. Lights on, people in it.
Sickness.
There's people, you know that there's people dying in that hospital, and there's dead people at that hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you've been to a hospital, there's someone who's dead in that building. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, when a hospital is operational, there's also babies being born every day.
Yeah, but no one's thinking about that. That did remind me of a dream I had. I was at a dentist's office, which might have been an infinite dentist's office.
An infinite dentist's office?
I found at least 100 rooms, each for different procedures. And it was all like it was dark. It was like, what's that movie? It had the same color scheme and atmosphere as The Amazing Spider-Man, the room with the radioactive spiders. It sort of had the same color scheme with like black with blue, almost like a Pac-Man maze.
Right.
I'm thinking about it. But like you'd find people like, I remember there was this one kid getting something injected into him that was like glowing through his veins.
What?
I don't know what it was.
This is a dream that you were having.
Yeah.
Dang.
But yeah, like infinite buildings where if you lose sight of the exit, you're never going to find it.
Ooh. That'd be pretty creepy.
Like, have you ever been to the Olympic Oval? Like, like when you go down the stairs in the center and you find that all those racks and everything, if that was infinite, it'd be pretty spook. Because I had a dream about that once a very long time ago.
Just an infinite amount of anything would be just terrifying. Dang.
Unless it's infinity stones, then nobody's scared.
An empty parkade.
Well, that's like a good spot to film, like...
I think you can add a lot of suspense in an empty parkade. You add a flickering light, the echoing of every footstep you take echoes in that parkade. But then, like, I don't know, put like a monster or someone who makes no footsteps. That's creepy, huh? So I think a parkade could be pretty good for a...
Yeah.
And you also don't see that a lot.
Basically, almost any indoor building with flickering lights and completely empty is a horror hazard.
A horror hazard. I think there's a lot of missed opportunities with horror movies and planes.
Planes.
Yeah, planes or trains. Traveling somewhere and there's a long distance in between.
Doctor Who had Mummy on the Orient Express.
Oh? I never watched any Doctor Who.
Okay, so there was a mummy that was on a space train.
Okay.
And there was a timer, apparently.
A timer?
But there was one post-apocalyptic movie with Chris Evans in it, Snowpiercer. You've heard of it?
No.
Basically, there's a train called Snowpiercer, which houses like a few hundred or something people, and a weather experiment has gone wrong, and the entire planet is frozen over, and the only people that are alive are inside Snowpiercer, the train.
I
and
see.
and people from the lower class are trying to get to the top.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So all of humanity that's left is on this train.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
And got Captain America in it.
Oh, well then it has to be good.
Yeah.
Like Fantastic Four. Psych, those were not good movies, despite having Chris Evans.
Let's hope Disney can do it justice.
I'd love to see an actual Marvel-led remake of Fantastic Four, because they're super cool. And they're major characters, especially in the comics.
Yeah.
And I think adding them would add something special to the MCU.
Yeah.
They
can also do X-Men now.
They can. Just don't bring back Wolverine. Keep him dead. Do like a new wave of mutants.
Yeah. Just like start all over, I guess.
Yeah. They even set that up at the end of... you haven't seen the last Wolverine movie, eh?
Logan?
Yeah, Logan.
No. Well, I heard about the end scene where there's like a group of young mutants and they...
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
so I don't know how much you want me to spoil it for you.
I know. I already know he dies.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, they do that really beautifully, and it's really well done. I almost shed a tear in the theater, and I don't often do that, but it almost moved me to tears. Yeah, but they set up like a whole new batch of kid mutants. Don't be weird, Marvel. Don't bring Wolverine back. Also, I'd love to see a Spider-Man Deadpool crossover.
That would be interesting.
Those the comics where they do that, they're some of the best comics, in my opinion. They're really funny because Spider-Man and Deadpool, man, are some of the funniest characters out there.
Also, the New Mutants was also going to be in the X-Men universe, but we're not entirely sure. It's an American superhero horror movie.
An American superhero...
I'm reading exactly off of Wikipedia, so I don't know why I included American in there.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's true.
But it's superhero horror release. Okay, so it actually is coming out. So, yeah.
Bro, I want Sprite.
We have ginger ale.
Oh, I'd take a ginger ale.
Okay. Pause.
Pause. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I'm all alone here in a basement with a couple mics and a computer. We had Five Guys burgers and fries for lunch. If y'all have never had Five Guys burgers and fries, seriously, you're missing out. I would highly recommend that. It's just so good. It's a lot of food, though. So be prepared to eat good. Ay. Oh, I feel like I'm dying. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So
So quenchy. Quenchy.
Okay. What were you saying while I was gone?
I was talking about how we had Five Guys burgers and fries.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
Nice. That was a perfect door close.
Ka-chunk.
Yeah. Oh, I love Five Guys burgers and fries.
It is very lovely.
It's a lot of food, though. So if you guys are, as I mentioned, be prepared to eat.
Yeah. Or get the small ones.
Yeah, well, even the small ones are pretty massive, so...
Like the fries, they load them up like New York Fries does.
Even more so, like...
They just jam as many fries as they can into one cup.
Yeah, they give you a cup, and then still the bottom of the bag is filled with fries. You have to, like, unearth your burger. It's pretty awesome. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of restaurants that we enjoy, we still need to go to Smash Cafe.
Yeah. I still haven't been there. My brother's been a billion times participating in tournaments and such.
Oh.
Yeah. He's pretty good at Smash Bros.
I play no video games, so I would suck at it. But
I like playing video games, but I just inherently suck at all of them.
yeah.
Except for Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I am the king of Mario Kart. In fact, I won a toque the other day because I beat someone in a...
Yes.
They challenged me and they lost
awesome.
miserably. Yes, although the toque is not my style.
If there's one type of game that I'm good at is either Lego games or racing games. Because I have beaten a lot of levels in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. Bronze class, mind you.
Keep it humble.
But, yeah, I always played as WreckIt Ralph because I was obsessed with WreckIt Ralph at the time. You remember that time.
Oh, I remember the WreckIt Ralph obsession.
Yeah.
It was quite intense. Mm-hmm. And also quite hilarious.
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything but WreckIt Ralph for the longest
crazy.
time.
Like, that was all your mind was on. You were hooked.
Yeah.
We've all been obsessed about things before, though.
Yeah, but with me, I'm just like, whenever I obsess about something, I obsess about it hard. But I've, at least in my younger days, like I don't really do that anymore. But for the beginning of my life, the superhero Larry Boy was the king of my existence.
Oh yeah.
And then Wally came along, broke that, and then I couldn't stop talking about him.
Yeah, that was like grade 3 era.
I think so, yeah.
Eventually, WreckIt Ralph came along and stole your heart.
Mm-hmm.
But WreckIt Ralph is a good movie.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I remember there was a brief period where you were not allowed to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't want to fuel the fire.
It was quite funny. But
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but it's a good movie, though.
Yeah, we saw Ralph Breaks the Internet after 19 months of waiting, and I remember walking out of the theaters like, that was worth it.
You felt satisfied after?
Mm-hmm. And then he threw up.
And then you threw up.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told this story yet. Might have. I
don't think so.
Okay.
Tell it again.
Okay, so me and my father went to see Ralph Breaks the Internet, and it was really good. And we went to Wendy's afterwards because we had not gotten
We had not gettin.
we had not gotten supper yet. And important detail, I'd gotten a bag of Maltesers for my snack. So we get our burgers and stuff, and then we sit down and eat. I take a bite of my burger, and then I'm starting to feel queasy. So I go to the bathroom, and before I throw up, I managed to say, I'm gonna Ralph it.
You saved it so good. I mean, you still threw up, but
Yeah.
that's incredible. I can't believe you had the...
I think I'd already come up with it beforehand, and then I just remembered, oh, I have that. Although I didn't say it directly before, I just said it, and then it was like a 30 seconds before I actually Ralphed.
I'm gonna Ralph it. That's pretty funny.
I feel like I might have said it multiple times, but yeah. Moral of the story is, don't eat Maltesers down an empty stomach. I haven't touched Maltesers since, because
Maltesers they're all right. They're kind of wafery though.
Mm-hmm.
They can be used for bullets, which is crazy.
And the evidence completely shatters upon impact, so no one will know.
Maltesers, mankind's greatest invention. What do you think is the greatest invention of all time?
Greatest invention mankind has ever come up with.
I argue the wheel.
Yes, that has gotten us many places.
Yes.
Literally and figuratively. Greatest invention. I'm trying to think of the most creative one.
Oh, the most creative invention.
Um,
The flushing toilet.
There's one. I sound like I'm digging in Minecraft.
You do sound like you're digging in Minecraft. Let us know if you want to watch us play Minecraft on this channel, because I would totally love to do that.
I would too. Ever since I've been getting into PewDiePie's Minecraft series.
It's so good, right?
I'm on part 20.
Yeah, he got me rehooked. So
I already got run through 2 Jorgens and a donkey. If I get a farm and I get a horse, I'm calling him Jorgen.
That's stealing, man.
Anyway, what other games would you like to play?
Oh, I have a list of games. Let me just pull out my list. I spent like an hour a couple nights ago like organizing and putting together lists of things. So now all my YouTube channel ideas are in one list.
Okay.
Makes my life a little easier. Yoshi's Island.
Okay.
For the SNES.
The SNES.
Yes. Very, honestly, one of the most chill, cute games ever. I love that game. I've never completed it. And that's why I want to play it. Mm-hmm. It's because I'm very bad at not completing games. I just leave them. So, yeah.
We could probably get like a Raspberry Pi to play really old school games.
I have a Raspberry Pi.
Yes.
I also have a Switch with they have a whole bunch of old games on there preloaded. So honestly, I could just bring that and we got all sorts of old school games.
Yeah. We could
newer games.
We could do a Ready Player One themed week worth of gaming where we just play all the games that Ready Player One, the book, referenced. So we could play Joust.
Joust is hard. Have you ever played Joust?
Once. At Boogie's Burgers.
At Boogie's Burgers, yeah, they have a Joust machine there. It's so difficult.
Where is...
Cuphead is one of the games I'd like to play. I haven't played that game in a while.
Okay, where's the... Zork was one that was referenced in the book. Black Tiger. Tempest was one. Those are all the ones referenced in this book. Some of them that are played in the book, but I haven't played any of them. I've only played Joust once, but
Mario Kart.
Yes,
You should definitely
you were
play
the
that.
king.
Yes, I did. I am the king at Mario Kart.
Okay. What if we got a VR setup at one point?
Oh,
Those are pretty.
Where would we have space for a VR setup? In here, maybe.
Maybe, but we'd have to clear out a lot. Maybe if we set it up in the living room temporarily.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to work on that.
Yeah. Also, it's quite costly.
Yes, and
We could try Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. That game looks weird and hard.
Yeah. With all the fan-made songs on Beat Saber, all of the fan-made songs are expert level. So you can't just play your favorite song if you're a starter in Beat Saber. It's slightly frustrating. Frustrating.
I ran into a glass door the other day.
How was that?
Shocking. I was at someone's house, and I was going outside. There was a group of us, and we were all headed outside. and I was head of the pack. And I just walked straight into the glass door. It was so clean and so clear that I didn't even see it. I just looked right through it, and I saw that outside. I was like a stupid bird.
Yeah.
And it just thunk.
It's just like that scene in Wallace and Gromit where he does that exact same thing.
Yeah.
As he's walking out. Just...
And it was surprising. And I stood there for a second. I was like, wow, I really just walked into a glass door. And then I opened the door and went outside.
Yeah.
But that's twice now in my life that I've done that. Although one was a sliding door at a mall, but I was just walking too fast and it didn't open fast enough.
Yeah.
Have you ever ran into a door?
Not that I know of.
Well, when you do, let me know.
Okay.
I wish that you could just make calls to the U.S. Because that would make prank calling way cooler.
My friend from work actually has a story of when he kept getting like the same phone call from all over the continent. And
the same phone call from all over the continent.
Yeah, from different places in the continent every day at the same time. And our theory is that it was someone changing their number, which also changes the area code.
Right. Was it the same person every time?
It might have been, but okay.
Strange.
I'm gonna keep details to a minimum because he'd probably be listening. But every time he called, it would just say, "Hello, is this Hector?"
That's hilarious. I assume his name is not Hector.
No, my friend's name is not Hector. And we also, and that it was on that night that I discovered that there's an actor who plays Hector in every movie he's in.
That's pretty funny. That's a good bit to maintain.
Yeah. Like, look it up on your phone. Just put
right.
Guy.
Guy plays Hector?
Guy who plays Hector. That was the
Guy
first.
Guy who plays Hector. Noel Googlemy? Googleme? Noel G. That's what I'll call him.
Okay.
Is an American actor best known for his portrayals of Southern Californian gangsters. Fast and Furious, he played Hector.
Yeah, I do remember looking this up and finding that it's not every single movie.
No, it's not. Because he's been in a lot of movies. I wonder if he was in Breaking Bad. Although, well, I guess that doesn't take place in California. Takes place in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Really good show. I've been getting into Breaking Bad recently.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's pretty dark though. I really like it personally. I only saw him play. Oh wait. Okay, so he plays Hector in all of the Fast and Furious movies, as well as a couple like one-off weird movies.
Yeah. Speaking of Fast and Furious, I wanted to see Hobbs and Shaw when it came out.
Okay.
Because A, it looks ridiculous.
Oh, it looks so over the top.
And that's probably the only reason. And B, it's a buddy cop. It's a buddy cop movie.
Buddy cop movies are always entertaining.
Yeah. But heard the Rotten Tomatoes wasn't so good, so I'm kind of skeptical now.
I never listened to Rotten Tomatoes ever. Do you know how the Rotten Tomatoes system works?
I think so. They take an average of the reviews that it gets from. Shut up.
Did not find anything. Thanks for letting us know.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So there's 300 people working for Rotten Tomatoes, And they don't all watch the same movies. So the Rotten Tomatoes scores are only reviewed by like 12 to 20. A very small number of critics.
Yeah.
And they're all like super critics too.
Hmm.
They're not just your average movie critic.
They're like super picky.
Yeah, like they're the
king nitpickers.
Yeah, they're like they're the Rotten Tomatoes guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're super.
But they also do have the percentage of people who like this movie,
right?
Who left their own reviews. That I think that's the value that we should be looking at.
Yeah, that's true because not everyone is a super critic, and there's always going to be someone who likes your horrible movie. So everyone's got different tastes.
Yeah,
including me. So I'm willing to give almost everything a try.
Yeah, I loved The Phantom Menace before I learned that everyone else hated it.
I still love The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I understand why people would hate it.
Yeah, I actually saw it playing in Alchemy April just today.
It's I don't know. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I think people are preferring it over The Last Jedi now. Which I can kind of see why everyone's knocking on it. I mean,
listen, The Last Jedi story was not. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, he did get rid of maybe a little too much stuff. The lightsaber gone, the ancient Jedi tree gone, Snoke gone.
I don't know. It just.
And maybe
I have
it got a little
feeling about this.
I know. Maybe it got a little too philosophical.
Man, well. Not even that. I think what it ultimately did was it gave a really rough landing pad for J.J. Abrams to put his finale on. And so I think it's caused a lot of discord in that area. And so I'm worried about episode 9.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's going to feel rushed, not because it was rushed, but because there was too much that they had to make up for.
Yeah.
I really like J.J. Abrams as a director. He's one of my top 5 favorite directors. But I'm afraid for it. So we'll see. Comes out in December this year?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah. There's a theory that's been floating around about the rise of Skywalker, and it's that Rey is one of a clone army.
Oh, you think she's a clone?
Yeah. I encountered it, and I looked into it, and I was like, that would actually be feasible. Because you see Darkseid Rey. I think my making of it is that she's a one clone, one out of a army of Darkseid Sith clones created by Palpatine. Well, he was like he was still deep in the shadows, so no one could notice him. And then she got left on the planet for some reason. Maybe, I don't know.
Sounds flimsy, but we'll see. We'll see. I am excited though for Star Wars, purely because I just love Star Wars.
Yeah.
So even if it's a horrible movie, I'm gonna watch it like 3 times because I love Star Wars and it's cool to watch. It's the same thing with Transformers for me.
Okay. On Star Wars, if you were given the materials to build a lightsaber and you could build it any way you wanted, any different color, any kind of shape, what would you choose?
I'd want like an ocean blue blade.
Okay.
Like a rich blue. I'd want it to be. I want the hilt to be pretty simple. I like the idea of like a leather wrapping around the grip, with like, I don't know, like 2 strands hanging off it a little bit. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
More like at the bottom, like the nub.
Yeah, the pommel.
The pommel. There's the word. I was like, what's the word? The pommel. I wouldn't want it to be round but I wouldn't want it to just be flat. I'd want it more almost like a pyramid shape.
Almost like an egg?
No, like a pyramid with a flat top.
Like a
kind of thing.
Like a takeout box.
Yeah, almost. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like an upside down takeout box.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess it would be right side up. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. But like any like specific shapes, like extra blades.
No,
blade
just
sizes.
one blade. I'd want like a standard length blade.
Yeah.
Just because based on my height,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty average, so I don't need a super long or shorter blade to make up for that. It's just regular will do.
For me, I'm gonna grab the drawing.
You drew your.
So, historically, there have been swords that are as long as the wielder is tall. So I'd want a Kylo Ren style lightsaber that has the exact same dimensions as a greatsword, is what it's called. So the handle would be extra long. Now the thing is, you guys can't see it, but you have the main crossguard, and traditionally right above the crossguard. Okay, right above the crossguard, there's this one. The length. There's a length that's wrapped in leather, so you can hold on to it for control, and then some little a mini crossguard on top. So I would have like an extension of that with slits in it, so the blade can run through it. Then a mini crossguard on top and a main crossguard on the bottom, and it would be orange.
Orange. Why orange?
Because orange is my favorite color.
Okay, no, that's fair. Mm-hmm. It looks very medieval.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Because in terms of what I'd have on the blade, on the hilt. Sorry, I said the complete wrong word.
Yes, a bejeweled lightsaber blade. No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
The jewel's already inside the blade. Okay. But yeah, I'd probably have. I don't know what I have. I'm not too picky. That was not a sneeze.
That was super awesome and loud. What time we got up there?
57 minutes, 26 seconds. Okay.
A solid conclusion.
Okay, we need a story.
All right, I got a story.
All right.
I have a couple titles too. Have I told Hero of None?
I don't think so. I don't recall.
The Princess and the Screaming Knight. Although I want to tell that story when Leslie's here because it actually involves her.
Okay.
I can't remember if I've told Hero of None.
I don't think so, but I just remembered. Oh, hold on.
What did you just remember? What does
another story that involves Leslie?
007, the ball pit sabotage. I haven't told that one, I don't think. I'll tell that one. It's short and nice and
all right,
pretty epic, and it takes place when I'm about 5 years old.
All right. Ball pit sabotage.
Yes, the ball pit sabotage.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, regularly, well, not regularly, there was an Ikea. There is an Ikea in Calgary, although its location is different now than it was when I was younger. Whenever I would go there with my mother, I would be placed in the kids' room.
Yeah.
They have like a whole bunch of toys and namely a ball pit. And at the old one, they had a huge ball pit. Or at least I remember it being huge.
I remember this. Ball pit.
Oh, I have 2 stories involving the ball pit. This is not the one with the broken nose.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that was a totally
Yeah.
different story. No, I have 2 stories that involve the ball pit. This one is slightly less violent.
All right. We'll save the violence for the future episodes.
Yes. Anyway, you guys got a sneak peek of one of my most epic stories.
All right.
Anyway, I'm telling 007 the ball pit sabotage. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep doing that.
Anyway, so they had this huge ball pit with like a ramp leading down into it and like a padded siding.
Okay.
And they had a little tiny like basketball net attached to one of the walls that kids could throw these little plastic balls into, which was also one of my favorite places to frequent whenever I was at the play place. I would toss balls into the hoop for like an hour, and that's all I'd do. Except for one day, I get into the play place. My mom signs the paper and goes off, and I make my way to the ball pit, and there was some sort of brute standing at my hoop.
Oh boy.
Now, I at first decided to wait. I was like, okay, maybe he'll leave. It was some big, he was twice as tall as me and huge, and he had a big Hulk shirt on, which I remember being slightly terrified of.
Okay.
And he was tossing balls into this, into the hoop.
How old was he? Do you know?
I don't know, but I thought he was an adult, but I was also a very tiny kid.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, I was a little bit frightened of him, but I was mad because that was my spot. But I decided to wait a little bit.
Yep.
Wait it out. Maybe he'll leave. He wasn't leaving. I decided at this point, it's time for action. Action needs to be taken. My mission, should I choose to accept it, was to remove the threat from the basketball hoop situation.
Okay. Which?
I had some options. Option A, I could ask if he would move so I could have a turn, which didn't work. I did ask. I said, hey, could I have a turn? To a thundering no reply, which terrified me and made me angry at the same time even more. So I sat in this corner and reviewed option B, which was to attack. I remember sitting there. I came up with a plan.
Okay.
The plan was to throw one of these little plastic balls at said beast. So I picked up one of the balls, and then I just huck it, and it hits him like square in the back, and it's a solid hit. It's like whack, and he turns around, but I'm not there. I knew I'd made a mistake.
Yeah.
The moment I let go of the ball, I dove underneath the ball pit, so I was buried. I buried myself, and I could hear him. He was angry.
Oh.
And he started like walking towards like where I was,
or where you would have been.
I could hear his legs swishing through the balls, and I'm laying there like, no. And he gets so close to me, like it's getting so loud, like shh, swish, swish, and then he stops. He looks around. Probably I can't see him. I'm just like all I can see is like a colored glaze over my eyes. And then it's silent for a while, and then I pop my head out, and he's just like, and he's not there. He's just gone. All I knew was that the basketball net was open again.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed the rest of my stay at Ikea, having fun. I have no idea where this kid went. most of this is probably a false memory. But I do remember hitting him with the ball, and I remember being scared. So that's I don't know why I dove. I just did.
Yeah. What?
Moral of the story is be yourself.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. And if at first you don't succeed, go to Yeatsville.
Go to Yeatsville. Yeah. Never been, actually. I've heard it's quite nice in the summer.
Yeah. When you yeet into the pool.
Oh, no.
Cold kicking in.
Well, it's trying to go away, but I keep schnorking.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, we'll call that good for today.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
We will see you.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. And tell your friends. Keep telling your friends.
Spread the
We
word.
need more exposure. We're telling our friends. So, are you
Yeah.
telling yours?
Be telling your friends.
Let us know what you think. Yeah.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace out. Goodbye.